So we'll just repeat the last verse we studied. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava mamakah pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. So last week we studied this verse. In this is the verse setting the context. So in which Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya, because Sanjaya was with Dhritarashtra in the palace. Sanjaya is watching what is happening in the war, and he's relating everything that is he is seeing to Dhritarashtra. So he says, so Dhritarashtra asks a question: after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the battlefield, what in the place of Kurukshetra? Kurukshetra is a it's a place of pilgrimage, Dharma Kshetra. So what did they do? Desiring to fight, what did they do? He's asking because he has doubts. Because this place is Kurukshetra, a very dharmic place. Will it influence the minds of, will it help Pandavas because they are righteous people? And will it influence them to not fight because it's a very sacred place? And he's worried about the outcome also. So he's asking this question. He's also differentiating between his sons and sons of Pandu. Even though everybody is Kurus, he was differentiating as if his own sons are Kurus. Okay? Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya is answering. Drishtva tu Pandavanekam Yudham Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abraved. Yeah. So Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So Duryodhana sees what is in the battlefield. He sees an army very formidable, very properly arranged. Just by looking at the army, he has a fear in his heart. Just by looking at that. And then he goes to his teacher. Who is his teacher? Who is Duryodhana's teacher? Dronacharya. He is the teacher of both Pandavas and Kauravas. So he goes to him and he speaks the following words. Right? Pashaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamun Yudham Drupada Putrena Tavasishyena Dhimahi Dhimata. Sorry. Yeah. So this is Duryodhana's. Duryodhana is a very diplomatic person. Right? His nature, he's a king. Is also very diplomatic. So within the area of field, within the area of assembled people, there is Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, Yuyudhana, and many other warriors, all the Kauravas, they're all there. So he first goes to his teacher and he addresses him like this. In the words that he speaks, you can see how he's very diplomatically speaks here. Right? O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So Drupada and Drona, they were both friends when they were young. Both went to the same Gurukula. They were both students of the same teacher when they were young. And they are very close friends also at the time. So in their childhood talks, at one point, Drupada said, hey, I will be the king in the future. and I'll be ruling the country. At that time, you are so close to me, so loving friend of mine, I will give half of my kingdom to you. Like that he promises. And both of them grow up. Drona becomes, Drona is a Brahmana and he never cared for accumulating wealth. He remained a poor Brahmana and he became expert in teaching archery. And one time he goes to Drupada, remembering his old friend, and goes and asks, "Hey, you remember you told once when we were a child, you promised me half the kingdom. Will you give me?" He doesn't ask directly, but he just reminds him. First thing, he receives properly his friend, but then he says, "You are a poor Brahmana. Your social status and my social status today, as it exists today, is very different." Long story, cut short, he tells him, "You should not even ask such things. We are class apart. Yeah, you are a Brahmana. I can give you something, but reminding about what I told you when I'm child, when I'm innocent, that's not proper of you." And they both had a tussle of words. And Drona leaves in anger, and he has a revengeful attitude. He becomes even better at archery, and he was called for to be the teacher of Kuru dynasty. Both Pandavas, because he's such a good archery expert, he was called for teaching both Pandavas and Kauravas. And Pandavas, become very expert, especially Nakula, Sahadeva, and Arjuna. They become very good at archery. After training all of them, he has his own goal. He want to attack Drupada. So after training, Pandavas ask, what Guru Dakshina can we give you? Go that guy, attack that guy. So they all attack. Pandavas, they didn't care. My teacher told we'll go attack. They defeat Drupada in arms race, but they don't kill him. And Drupada was impressed with the just demeanor of Pandavas. Even though they're fighting, they're impressive. The people are very humble. Even though they're there to fight, he was impressed by their attitude and he was ready to give his wife, his daughter. Uh, I think that happens later, but he was defeated and Drona claims half the kingdom. But anyway, but there was arch rivalry between the two. Now, Drupada doesn't stop there. He becomes revengeful. He performs great yajna, fire sacrifice, and out of which two products come. One is Draupadi, and the other is Drishtadyumna. Is a ferocious warrior. He would come right with the arms right out of the fire, ready to fight. And Drishtadyumna comes, and he comes, but he's still young, like 12-year-old boy like that, and he needs to be trained. So whom should he be trained? The best teacher available is Drona, so he will request Drona again. Drupada goes and requests Drona. Drona, in spite of knowing that the son of Drupada is going to be the killer of himself, he acts as a Brahmana and he teaches the best archery skills to Dhritarashtra. Now, our Duryodhana is taunting Drona, that see, you thought him. Now he became and ready to fight against you. Look at what you did. Don't be merciful to Pandavas in your fight. So that's what he's. Because at the time, the son of Drupada was the commander-in-chief for the Pandavas. Almost he's there till the end. So he expertly arranges. So he is going to his teacher and making sure the teacher is fully going to give his best. He knows Dronacharya and Bhishma are going to be with him because they didn't speak a word when Draupadi was disrobed. So he's assured that their support is there because they have their own promise. Or for Bhishma, he said, whoever is the ruler of Kuru dynasty, I'll be on their side. I'll be the protector of them. So that was his. Everybody in Kauravas, they all have their own attitude. They're not, united to help Duryodhana, but they have their own. Like Karna has an enmity with Arjuna. Bhishma want to support Kuru dynasty. Drona want to fight against Drupada. So everybody has their own reasons there. On the other side, Pandavas, they're all united for Dharma. Right? So there is a psychological difference between the attitude of the two armies assembled in the battlefield. Let's look at the PPT. There are some points here. Yeah, so this is the mistake he's pointing out. So Duryodhana, as we all know, he is a materialist, meaning he thinks that everything is happening by everything, the battle will be won by the people who is the most skillful. That was his attitude. I have the right people on my side, the strongest, most powerful battlemen like Bhishma and Drona and Kripa and Yudhana and many other Karna. These are all great warriors. They're all on my side. I have the skills. I have the resources. So this is the exactly how materialistic people think. They remove. So he considers in this next few verses, you will see how he describes about the armies on the Pandavas, the strengths and weaknesses of their side, strengths and weaknesses of his side in terms of people who are assembled there. And he's just focused about people and their skills and his own communication skills. And he completely takes one important thing out of the equation. What is it? Krishna. He doesn't because he thought Krishna is just there, he's neutral anyway, he's not going to influence the battle. So God is taken out of equation in his life. So that's what we can see in the next few verses. Yeah. So he just points out Drona's mistake. See, you thought him, he formed a strong battalion against us. So now he describes the warriors on the opponent side. Let's read the verse. अत्र सूरा महे श्वासा भीमार्जुन समायुधि युधानोश्च विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथा. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yuyudhana, Virata, and Drupada. So he is talking about first person he remembers is Bhima. Why? He knows very well, if I were to be killed, it has to be in the hands of Bhima. Even though he's not the great, compared to Bhishma, Bhima is like a nothing. But for Duryodhana, Bhima is in the mind all the time from his childhood. He tried to poison and kill him. All the time he had a rivalry with Bhima. And in fact, he has one fear also. When Draupadi's disrobing episode happened, at that time, Duryodhana sarcastically speaks to Draupadi saying, see, now your husbands are useless. They lost everything. Sit on my lap. He just shows his thighs and claps it and calls Draupadi to come and sit on there. To that, Bhima becomes very angry. He becomes up, immediately he speaks, the thigh that you have shown, that is the thigh I'm going to break one day and kill you. And Dussosana disrobes Draupadi, her saree, and Krishna supplies the saree. And he says, I'm going to wash the hair of Draupadi with the blood of Dushasana. He promises those two. And I'm going to kill every one of you. In fact, that's what happens. When Sahadeva and Dharmaraja, they're about to kill, they'll stop. They'll ask Bhima, come. And then Bhima would kill each Kauravas. They're almost there, but they don't kill. They'll give that opportunity to Bhima only. Bhima would be, he would roar like anything. Whenever he kills, he shouts, everybody's heart would sunk. The whole war was, yeah. So these are Maharadhis. Maharadhi means, Ratha means one who can fight with one Ratha. Ratha means one chariot, right? Maharatha, Atirata means one who can fight with less than 10,000 chariots. One person fighting with less than like 1,000 to 5,000 chariots is Atirata. And Maharatha means one person can fight with 10,000 chariots one shot. So these people as there on Pandava side, especially Drupada is formidable, Yuyudhana and Virata, king of, he's also great warrior, Bhima and Arjuna. So these are all Maharathas. Each of them can fight with 10,000 chariots in one shot. So he's just reminding, see, the other side, there are Maharathis. You have to exert yourself. You cannot take it easy because they are your Sishas. He's just reminding him, right? Any other points? Yeah, these are all very formidable blocks for the victory. That's why he's remembering. And now he talks about more warriors. Drishtaketuschekitana Kasirajascha Viryavan Rujit Kunchibodascha Saibhyascha Narapungava. There are also great, heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kasiraja, Purujit, Kunchiboja, and Saibhya. Who are these people? We'll read about them. Yeah. So, want to read, Prabhu?
Drishtaketu was the son of Shishupal who fought on behalf of Pandavas. Shishupal was against Lord Krishna, not against Pandavas. Drishtaketu was killed by Drona in a fierce battle.
Yeah. So he is son of Sisupal. Next, Chekitana.
Chekitana was a Yadava in the dynasty of Vrishni. He was a very Maharathi and was one of the commanders in chief of the Pandava army.
He is Yadava dynasty, means from Krishna's family side. Kasi Raja.
Kashi Raja was the king of Kashi. He fought on the side of the Pandavas.
You can read.
And Kunti Bhoja.
Purujit and Kunti Bhoja.
Bhoja. They were like brothers of
Yeah, so they are both brothers of Kunti, Saibya.
Saiba was the father-in-law of Maharaja Yudhishthira. His daughter Devika was married to Yudhishthira Maharaja. Is known as a
Narapungava.
Narapungava, the best of men, and was recognized as a powerful heroic warrior.
Yeah, so they're all on the side of Pandavas. Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta Uttamaujaschcha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva eva Maharata. So there are mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. They're all Maharathis, very strong fighters. Each can fight like 10,000 people. So they're all on the side of Pandava. So he's just, just like an expert person, like a politician, he would look at the other side as well, right? Opponents before the elections. So similarly, he's looking at the strength of the Pandavas. Asamakam tu visishtaye asma tani bodha dvijottama nayaka mama sainyasya. Can you see now? अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाय तानि बोधा द्विजोत्तम नायका मम सैन्यस्य संज्ञार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते. So because he told about Maharathis on the other side, he thought maybe these guys will, my people will feel weakened in their heart. So he now tells, okay, we are also very strong. So, but for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. See, he's telling now about himself. Mama Sainyasya. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitinjaya Ashwadhama Vikarnascha Saumadattis Tathaivacha. So there is both Bhishma and Drona. Both are elderly. So whom to address first? He has a question. If both are elderly, so he has a question. Okay, if I address Bhishma first, Drona might feel offended. But if I address Drona first, because he's a Brahmana and he's elderly and is a teacher of mine, Bhishma should be fine, even though he's the most strongest battleman. So he was just considerate of that. And he mentions Drona to be the first. Bhavan means you, respectfully in Sanskrit. Bhavan Bhishmaschat Karnascha. Yeah. So there are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwadhama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. So he mentions about Vikarna. Vikarna is one of the brothers of Kurus only. He is one of the 100 brothers of Kuru. He is not like a really strong guy, but he mentions him because he has only one person. He is doubtful whether out of the Kauravas, out of 100 Kauravas, only one person is doubtful whether he will fully support out of his full heart. That is Vikarna. Why? When Draupadi's disrobing happened, he is the only guy out of the Kauravas who was saying, "This is wrong. You should not do this, Duryodhana, my brother." So he always tries to make sure he's on his side. So that's a political, agenda there. So he's just Ashwadhama, of course, he's on the side along with his father. He is very strong. Kripa, Karna is great warrior. But they all have also internal conflicts. Each of them, they don't go well together. While Pandavas, everybody is united. One person says, for example, Arjuna leads, Yudhishthira Maharaj has no problem, you lead. They're like united, one person. But here, Bhishma has a problem with Karna. Karna has a problem with Bhishma. Bhishma once belittles Karna because when Pandavas were in Vanavas, like for 12 years when they're outside, in those 12 years they didn't waste time. Arjuna became a stronger archer. He went to Swargaloka, he got many new weapons. He pleased Lord Shiva, he got weapons. Each of them, some of them got married and they got the friendship of countries, various countries, small countries. Now they're all helping them in the battle. So in those 12 years, Kauravas, they spoiled their relation with others. Karna went to acquire wealth. He had conflicts with, and he said some negative things and they cursed him. Some of them, right at the time when you need, you'll forget. Like that, he got very bad curses. So because of all this, but Duryodhana has a high estimate of Karna. Whenever he is proud, even if I have Karna will win over Arjuna. That was his big consideration. And Bhishma, just as part of their own calculations, once makes an estimate of all the strengths. This guy is Maharadi. Yeah, like that he will estimate everyone. And Karna, he says he's half Radhi. Why? Ardharadi. And then Karna becomes very upset. He always sees what others say in the words rather than, he has no inner strength. So he goes by the words of Bhishma and he says, as long as Bhishma is there in the battle, I'm not going to be there. So they all have tussles between each of them. So they have tussle, and also many others will read them, but they're not united. They all have their own purpose why they're in the battle. Bhishma is only there because he has to protect Kuru dynasty. That's all. He has nothing to do with whether it is Pandavas win or Kauravas win. He's neutral for all of that. In fact, he wants Pandavas to win. You will know at the end, after the whole battle is over. Bhishma is on the bed of arrows. At the time when Pandavas visit, he is extremely happy. In fact, Krishna makes Pandavas dress up like kings and takes them to Bhishma because Krishna knows very well that Bhishma is extremely pleased to see the Pandavas in the kingly robes. And Bhishma, there are beautiful prayers, Vishnu Sahasranama and Bhishma Stuti. They're all there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Very beautiful prayers that Bhishma sings. But anyway, coming back, So he's just reminding that you're all there, we're all victorious. Anye cha bahava sura madadhe chakta jivita nana sastra praharana sarve yuddha visharada. There are many heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. This is what he's just telling what is going to happen in the future. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and are all experienced in military science. Yeah, so he's just premonishing what is going to come in the near future, in the next 18 days. Right? They're all going to lay down their life. Madarde Chakta Jivita. That's what will happen. Let's read if any points are here. This way study. Yeah. So as we discussed, Duryodhana, their purpose to be in the battle is all just to win the kingdom. That's all. It's all material reasons. There is no spiritual reason. It's not a dharma yuddha from their side. It's just for material. So naturally, people on his side are also not very, they don't have firm like commitment. The commitment matters more than the actual resources people have, correct? It's that commitment that brings the results. Right? Sometimes you may have a team of engineers who are not very skilled, but they are focused and they have the higher purpose. They can achieve much more than people who are egoistic and they don't get any design to get through. For example, we have seen, in our places of work. So it is how like that. Like Kauravas had, they are far more resourceful, but they're not. They don't have a real good purpose. Yeah. So fate of their lives are already decided, ready to lay their lives. Yeah. So this we read. Yeah. So Duryodhana was only considerate of resources, not the divine factor. So the divine factor is on the side of Pandavas. That he missed totally. In his whole calculation, he's just talking about Pandavas and their army strength, his own strength. In this whole equation, he didn't mention Krishna. Right? He completely removed him from the equation because he didn't consider Krishna is going to help in the battle. Now read the 10th verse. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tva idam etesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. So Bhima is never going to go away from his mind. So our strength is immeasurable. Aparyaptam. There is no limits. And we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma. Whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Right? So he considers Bhima only from Pandava side, nothing else, mainly. Ayineshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avastita Bhishmam eva virakshantu bhavanta sarva eva hi. No, he's worried oh, I inspired Bhishma, and I'm only talking about most important people. What about others? So many kings have come to help me. I should make sure they're also happy. Just diplomat, right? You just want to make sure everybody's happy. So now he's saying this, all of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma, because he's old now. He's old. You are there. That's how he's going to win. Now he's saying like that. As you stand at the respective strategic points of entrance in the flanks of the army, you should support Bhishma because he's old. He needs your support. With your support, we'll be victorious. Just to make sure everybody is happy. Diplomatic. Yeah. Tasya sanjana sanjanayan harsham kuru vriddha pitamaha simhanadam vinadochai vinachochai sankham dadbhau pratapava. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Right? So just to give some joy to Duryodhana, Bhishma took up his conch shell and loudly, like a lion, he makes a very profound sound. That gives Duryodhana happy. It makes him happy. But as soon as Pandavas also blow up and Krishna blows, that's it. His heart sinks. We'll read that in the next few verses. Yeah. Let's read any other point. Let's read. We see the PPT. Yeah. Yeah. So Duryodhana compared Bhishma, very experienced general, to Bhima, very inexperienced, just to make the ego boost, right? Yeah. Yeah. So Bhishma, out of compassion and to cheer Duryodhana, blew the conch shell very loudly. Yeah. Bhishma is just fighting out of duty. He knows that Krishna is going to, Pandavas will be victorious. So this is Duryodhana. He evaluated all the arts. Only Krishna is missing in the equation. Right? The main factor, God factor, is missing. So materialistic vision leaves God not because he is invisible, but because he is considered inconsequential. This is how most of the people in the material world are. They do not consider God in the equation. So this is how materialistic conception work. They think just work hard, working hard will give you a result, right? There is no need to worship God. None of that going to temple, all of that is for sentimental people. Leave it for sentimental. This we will, we will improve our skills and win. We'll get whatever we want. Huh? So we don't see things as they are. We see things as they matter to us. So that's how materialistic people think. For Duryodhana, non-combatant is non-contributor, and non-contributor is a non-entity. Means Krishna is a immaterial for him. So this is materialistic mentality. Yeah. So in this whole section, if we see, we are seeing Duryodhana's attitude, right? He is considerate about the opponent people, their strengths, who are the people on the opponent side, what are their strengths, who are on my side and what are their skills and strength. And such people, they never consider God to be part of any, they don't consider God as part of the equation completely. This is materialistic attitude, right? So we should be careful in our own calculations also. Whatever we achieve, without God, nothing happens. Correct? Whatever we have today is because of God. If we, but a materialistic person doesn't consider like that. He thinks his own skills, his own resources are the cause of his success. Yeah. So Duryodhana's materialistic calculation with sacred Lord, not one's crooked, with sacred Lord, not one's crooked thoughts. So, hmm.
That come out of their efforts.
Hmm. Everything comes out of their own efforts, correct?
What you told me, okay, it becomes an auto approved by Krishna if it isn't their time or destiny. So how is that thinking wrong from a materialistic thinking?
Yeah, it is. It thinking is it's incomplete thinking that everything is just in my hand, right? If you consider everything is in your hand, but not every time you will win or you will lose. Sometimes you will win, sometimes you lose. When you consider yourself alone in the equation, when you lose your heart. You feel less confident about yourself, your own abilities. But when you consider God in the equation and understand that sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, and it's all based on my destiny. Sometimes even though I work very hard, I may not get result. Sometimes with little effort, we get result, all based on my karma. I have to focus on my duty. Then your focus is on the work, not on the result. But when your mind is not considering that aspect, then your mind is always focused on results. And when you don't get, you feel very baffled and disappointed and um, also low confidence. Yeah, that's the problem. Because you put everything on yourself. You cannot handle that. So I'm good for nothing. You lose, you may win 10 battles, but 11th battle you lose, you feel very low confidence. You think that I'm good for nothing. This guy is so strong, I'm useless. Like that. Hmm.
Is it also possible like people do a lot of hard work? Like, with just that hard work, will they be getting result? Or do they have to do some karma kanda, something spiritual in order to get that kind of even material success?
Yeah, if they perform, if they have, because there are divine factors that I know that are there to help us. Like for example, there are controllers for every aspect, even every limb of your body, like heart, blood. Each of them have devatas. They are actually managing controllers of everything. So if you have their support, it's like you want something in this world. If you have the support of, say, the government, you can do things much easily, correct? If you want to establish some business or a school, if you have the support of your local leaders, it becomes all that more easy. So that's why in Vedic times, there the worship of devatas was very central to the Vedic living. They have clearly acknowledged the harmony between. They understand that devatas were, you know, like a helping, um, like we working in devatas with devatas is going to help us, you know, in the right way. So that consideration was there during Vedic times very much. So that's why a lot of karma kandas were designed like that. You worship certain devatas, you get certain results. But ultimately, everything that is given in this world is temporary. So focus should not be just on temporary. You will need certain things. You will need a job. You will need family, children, wealth. You need the help, but you cannot be stuck there. You have to see beyond that. That is the purpose of life. Yeah. So certainly it helps. So this is how materialistic science works, right? For example, there is a pipeline of water supply through a forest. And the pipeline was laid by government through the taxes collected from people. A particular village has requested for water supply. They have been paying the taxes because the government is friendly and acknowledge their taxes. They are going to put a line of water pipeline to their village. Okay, that is legitimate way of getting the water supply. You paid the taxes, you get the water pipe laid by the government. Now somebody that pipeline is going through a forest. There are some robbers in the forest. They found, hey, there is a pipeline. I also want water. I don't want to pay taxes. I can just make a hole, get my water. This is exactly how modern science works. Test tube babies, they're all meddling with the material nature. It also works. Mechanically also you can make some things work. But what happened? What is the problem with what that guy did? The robber, he made a hole and is getting full supply without, as long as he's not caught, he has the best supply of water. He can get water anytime he wants. For public supply, there is a limit, like 2 hours, 3 hours, that much. But this guy, he gets water anytime. Nobody can stop him. Correct? So, but as soon as he's caught, he'll be put in jail. That's the only problem he has. Right? So he's getting illegally. That's exactly how modern science exploits work. They'll make, better crops with fertilizers or meddle with nature. Like even if you are not destined to have a child, you do certain mechanism within the body of the women and they get the child out. That is meddling with nature. That's exactly how this robber did. You can just understanding the mechanism. Oh, this is a pipe. I can make a hole and put a pipe out, get my water as much as I want. Just see the nature, observe the nature and mimic it, play with it and get what you want. Only problem is you're going to face consequences. Just time will catch up with you at some point. It's not that somebody will complain, hey, we're not getting sufficient water in the village. And there will be an investigation at some point after 1 year. This guy will be caught, he'll be put in jail. So that's what happens. Make sense? Any other questions?
Always because we perform, when we perform some yajnas, they give us the benefits in return. But in Govardhan Leela, Krishna asked not to perform yajna for Indra because it is Indra's duty to give rain. So how do we understand that? Like, what is our
in Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna says, we have these devatas and people on the earth, earthly planets. By good harmony between the two, the people of earthly planets can live very happily. These people supply yajna material and devatas are happy with the yajnas they receive. It's like bribe. They'll be happy and you will be happy. So that is the good transactional system that God has created. But there is a specific reason why Krishna did what he did in Govardhan Lila. Indra is a devotee of Lord, but temporarily he was misled. After, suppose you are controller of something, say you are a finance minister. Anandita is a finance minister, for example. After some time, I'm the one to supply money to everyone. So there is a potential when you are a controller of certain assets, material resources. There is a chance to feel that you are in control. You are the one. You expect people to respect you. That chance is there, correct? So that's what happened with Indra. And God doesn't like pride in the heart of the devotees. Just to teach Indra a lesson, that pastime was performed. It is not to deny the worship completely. No, that's not the purpose. When Krishna was right here, and already when Indra come to know there is that a small boy, he told to stop your worship, and he's asking all the villagers to worship some mountains. As soon as the messengers of Indra speak that like that to Indra, who is that childish boy? Indra gets so angry with Krishna, not knowing who is Krishna. And I am personally going to go and destroy that village called Vrindavan. So he sends Samvardhika clouds and then he goes personally. And all of this, Krishna would smilingly handle all of this with Pinky on his hand, right? Govardhan, just to teach Indra a lesson and to bring him to cut his false ego. Because he's a Devata, he doesn't go in a revengeful attitude. He just come and he, in fact, he brings cow before himself. Surabhi, he brings and puts the cow before himself. And then Krishna would not even look at him when he comes there. So everybody is confused when Krishna was in this middle world. Brahma himself was confused. How come this boy is eating from the hands of other boys? And sometimes he's being defeated by other boys and he's carrying other boys. He is my Lord? No, can't be. Let me test Krishna. And he does the test. He gets the same lessons. He comes. And at the same time, Krishna calls Brahmas from all the other universes. There are 10-headed, 100-headed, 1,000-headed, million-headed Brahmas also. This Brahma, he thought, I'm going to go. Anyway, I only called when I wanted Lord, I only called him. So let me go and, pay my respects. But then he sees, then his ego is lost. Oh my God, I am not the only Brahma. There are so many bigger and better Brahmas here in this existence. So his ego is also lost. And Krishna would not look at him at the time also. He will look somewhere else. So like that, Krishna teaches. He want to make sure, especially his devotees, he doesn't like ego in the hearts of the devotees. He would correct them sometimes very harshly. Like Indra, he had very hard lessons. But as soon as he realized, he goes back and that's the goodness. Devatas, at least they listen. They listen to good advice. They do mistakes. Everybody does mistakes. Even you and me, everybody, we'll all make mistakes. But the good part with Devatas or devotees in general is they listen to good counsel. When they hear their mistake, they are ready to amend themselves. The demons are not like that. Demons become revengeful. Like what Hiranyakashipu did when Hiranyaksha, he had a clear lesson. Hiranyaksha was killed means the person is not easy. He is super strong. Now let me try. Let me get some boons and try. That's what demons do. They become revengeful, and they never become devotees. They're always revengeful. Yeah. So that's
And you're praying to Krishna when it's required to worship the demigods, but independently if somebody is worshiping demigods, then they shouldn't be.
we should not independently worship demigods as the supreme, as they are the only cause, but we should respect. And even if you have to do some puja, that's not wrong. Like for example, even the gopis would worship uh, Katyayani, right? But their purpose is to achieve Krishna, to please Krishna, right? So even there are many such instances, not just him. Many times there are worship of demigods or yajnas performed for demigod pleasure. because they are to be respected. Lord Rama worships Samudra Deva and Lord Shiva. They have to be respected because they are representative. They are not like us. They are. It's like, do you have to respect your, like, say, your local MLA? You should. There's, but they're not everything. The primary, you should be very 100% clear. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right? I go to him for everything, but if a specific, you know, uh, tradition is there, we don't just disregard. We participate. We don't need to like officially disregard all of those things. So especially in Krishna consciousness, there is that confusion. Should I give up everything, or my family tradition is like this? No, we should not. We should continue those things. So, for example, whenever I go to my hometown, our hometown has a devata. Every place has a particular devatas. They take care of their entire village. They're in between the actual demigods and humans, right? They're middle. There's some Peddamma, Sarama. There are various devatas. Um, there is some movie also, right? Kantari or something. Huh?
That is on Bhagavad.
Varaha, okay. No, I didn't watch. I heard something like that. Hmm.
The
Local worshipable gods. Local deity. Yeah. Yeah. We just go and pay respects because they feel happy also, that these people are respectful. Especially devotees are respectful to all demigods and all devatas. So paying respects is not worshipping him, right? If you go to a temple of Lord Shiva and pray to him, pray for what? Pray so that you become a good devotee of Krishna. He'll be very happy. Okay. So be normal. Okay. I have seen devotees go to the extremes of rejecting all types of worships and think that they're somewhere in the sky and no, be normal. First thing is to be normal. Then you be devotee. Especially when you are with your friends who worship various devatas, we should not, especially we should not break the faith in people. Unfortunately, I did certain immaturity. In the beginning days, I used to argue with some friends, colleagues, but I learned my hard lessons. So they become negative towards Krishna consciousness. It's going to take a long time for them to have faith in Krishna consciousness. So disrupting others' faith is a very dangerous. Respecting everybody, and their worship is going to help us and help them also. And they will see you in a better perspective. Otherwise, they think these Krishna devotees, they say Krishna, Krishna, and nothing else. They think that we are very narrow-minded. Yeah, our heart is with Krishna. Doesn't mean that we act like very narrow-mindedly with people around us, right? We respect, we go to temples, we be normal outside. Yeah. Any other questions?
So I had this question about Duryodhana. He can see that he knows that Krishna is being angry.
He has his own doubts. He saw, especially when Lord Krishna went on a peace mission, and that time Duryodhana tried to befriend him and make him on his side. But when Krishna opposed, saying that you should not even fight, and people started listening. He got scared. What's happening? He's now distracting everybody from the motive to fight. Then he calls everybody, arrest Krishna. Krishna will show his universal form suddenly, and everybody just dissolves. And maybe Krishna is a god. But his mind convinced him, no, he's just a trickster. He's just temporarily just showing his power. Yeah.
But Bhishma is not bad.
Yes, 100% loss.
So Bhishma like keeps saying that Krishna is the personality, he is God himself. And
He is not,
like Kauravas don't believe Bhishma.
Kauravas believe Bhishma. Bhishma knows 100%. But Bhishma also knows that these people don't have faith. At that time, doesn't mean when Krishna is there, not everybody has full understanding that Krishna is Supreme Lord. Most of the people don't. Yeah, many people don't. Kunti knows. Bhishma knows that he is the original Adi Narayana. He is the source of all incarnation also. He speaks like that in Bhishma Stuti. We'll sing one day. But Bhishma 100% knows. Bhishma is there on the other side because he knows the Krishna's desire that his purpose, his life's purpose is to show that there is one lesson he wants to teach through his life, that even if you are the greatest and the strongest person in the fight, if you are on the wrong side, you will be the loser. That's a lesson, right? So that lesson he want to teach. For that purpose, he stayed back. He speaks that also at the end. Yeah. So
That's why I was under the impression that all Kauravas, if he knew that that's supreme, still they chose to like do wrong.
yeah,
I just wanted to understand their thought process that okay, he's God, I have my free will. Like for right now, in Kali Yuga, if you can see God every day, like you won't do wrong things, right? Like we do wrong things under the impression that
God is not there.
God is like somewhere over there in Golokha. We
Yeah.
are here. What difference does that make? So let's do some some wrong stuff, right? But for them, he's right there, right in front of them. So
Doesn't make any difference. It all depends on our faith in the heart. Faith is a very subtle thing, and it grows very subtly in your heart. Very subtle thing. You won't believe. Even if Krishna comes right before us, our eyes, if you don't have faith, you won't believe that is Krishna. Very subtle. Faith is a very subtle thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. He's the Supreme Lord. How many people really know, even now? Yeah. He's pretty. There are so many scriptural predictions about his appearance. It's a Channa avatar. It's not very well known, but very few people really could understand. You know. Yeah. Faith is a very subtle thing. Very subtle thing. Even look at your own life. What was your faith about God years ago? And what is it now? What were you, even though you have some little faith. So that's why faith comes with Sukriti. You must have helped somebody, some devotee in your past life, knowingly or unknowingly. Without that past Sukriti, there is no germination of faith in your heart. Period. It takes a lot, especially unless you serve devotees, there is no question of faith in the heart. That is the seed of devotion. You have to serve devotees, especially advanced devotees. That is the only way you grow in spiritual life. It's not by our efforts, it's not by just chanting, we say, but ultimately it is so that you please Krishna within your heart. So we don't grow by mere practice, physical practice, especially in devotion, right? We grow through our consciousness, how we mold our consciousness, especially how we please the devotees. When by our attitude, suppose you pleased with your service a devotee, and the devotee is very pleased, you have made an advancement that day. It's an immeasurable faith advancement you made. You grow in leaps and bounds through those efforts to please the devotees. The blessings, the prayers, they all subtly affect us. That is what grows us. It's not by our mechanical effort of chanting, it's not by mechanical effort of, anything that you do, right? It's through the blessings and prayers and your sincere attitude towards, God and others. That's what your prayerful attitude, that's what grows. So that's why Kunti Maharani, when she prays, she would pray that let more calamities come upon me. Now, Krishna was about to leave to Dwarka at the time. See, until now, we didn't have a place to live properly. We had gone through so many hardships. We had to fight a battle, but we had your help. Every time we had a calamity, we called up to you, with full dependence, with full surrender. Now that we have kingdom, we have control over resources and people and money and everything. May pride enter our heart and take away the devotion, the creeper of devotion from our heart. She was fearful that such a thing can happen and destroy the devotion. So it is that innocent craving for, our grateful heart that keeps our devotion. It's not by our skills, it's not by our singing skills or dancing skills or oratory skills. Just because I'm speaking Bhagavad Gita doesn't mean I am anything better than any one of you. So understand, we grow by pleasing devotees, by pleasing Lord, by serving in a menial way, right? In a humble way. That is how we please. Only when we receive blessings do we grow in spiritual life, not by our skills.
You mentioned that Dronacharya taught Krishna out of beauty, even though he knew that he would
You will be the killer, yes.
and Krishna also is the upholder of dharma. So when Draupadi was deified in the object, and
Okay, that's a long answer. Maybe we should discuss that next week. We're already 1:30. Yeah, there are multiple perspectives to it. We'll discuss. Yeah. Yeah, Damodarashtakam, we will do quickly. Who want to sing? Anyone want to sing Damodarashtakam? Raghavi, yes. No, you sing. I saw her sing once. I haven't, you also should sing. You all take turns, every week, 2 more weeks. You can see my screen. Raghavi, sing. You should sing. Huh? Sure, yeah. Sing together then. How do we sing, Prabhu?